what is the key takeaway from the three countries deciding to leave ECOWAS?
I think this is unhelpful. It is reckless, and we are yet to see how ECOWAS responds. So I hope that ECOWAS responds in a way that allows them to come back into the fold, and we can find a solution, a permanent solution to the problems that these countries are dealing with. But I think that leaving the organization is not the best for the people in these countries.
This is not yet into effect, right? Because the ECOWAS Treaty stipulates that countries who wish to quit the bloc shall give a 1-year written notice. Has there been any notice by now?
Not to my knowledge. So this could just be a bargaining tactic that they're using to get ECOWAS to walk back the sanctions and to allow them to rule as they will. But ECOWAS cannot do that because everybody's watching what ECOWAS does. And if ECOWAS backs down, it will encourage more bad behavior in the region.
So these are three landlocked countries. What are about the economic impact, and also what can be expected in the upcoming month from the countries, the three countries, as well as the role of Russia in the future?
So these countries are already suffering. They're landlocked, as you mentioned, and they've also cut off ties to France, which is their main trading partner in the region. In terms of sub-regional trade, there's very little sub-regional trade between these countries, and so the impact may not be immediately felt. But as sanctions kick in, and I don't think the Russians can help them very much, economic hardship is going to force people in these countries to move to other places, creating bigger problems for ECOWAS. And ECOWAS is now in a bind. They have to decide whether they want to enforce sanctions, further sanctions to force these military leaders to return to the fold. If they do that, it's going to create bigger problems domestically. If they ignore it, it raises legitimacy questions for the organization, because an organization that can enforce its norms will very soon cease to matter.
And Professor, how does this move impact the United States' efforts to fight terrorism in the Sahel region?
It creates a problem for the United States. In the short term, because these countries have already lost relations with France, and if they go ahead and withdraw from ECOWAS, they'll probably also lose relations with the rest of West Africa. They will become more dependent on the United States. Niger, for example, the junta has figured out a way to work with the United States. So in the short term, they become more dependent on the United States, and that gives the United States some leverage. But in the long term, that creates bigger problems for the United States, because economic hardships is going to only fuel the jihadis and terrorist activities in the region. It's also going to disrupt sub-regional cooperation, security cooperations, and that will create problems for the United States.
We have to leave it there. Professor Kwaku, thank you so much.